So, as the movie adaptation comes to a close, it does make us ruminate. What was the point of the 5th adaptation in a row? The BORUTO movie came out in 2015. But, if like me you actually slogged through these terrible expanded fights, it was kind of worth it. Even if only to make today's video. This is actually a topic I've been putting off for a while. When this cast of characters was introduced, and even in the first bunch of arcs of BORUTO, it's like they made these kids intentionally difficult to rank. It's still hard to get a real bearing of how strong BORUTO is meant to be, and where his classmates rank up alongside him. But I've had years to think about it, let's give it a go. We won't be including Himawari, Sumire, or any of the girls, because they are not present in this arc, or not currently ninja. So, weakest to strongest. Number 14 spot goes to Dinky. Sorry, you little rich kid. Get back to Beyblade, where you belong. Number 14 spot belongs to Dinky because, come on, it is Dinky. He'd probably do better using that money of his to hire bodyguards. Number 13 goes to Tori. You probably don't know Tori. She is this extra. So there she is. Tori. I guess we'll never know. And still better than Dinky. Number 12 goes to Tori, a very slow character. Well, I say slow, I mean dumb. He's actually very agile, but described as a bit of a dimwit. You could make the case that he pushed Mitsuki to using Sage Mode, and that means he's very powerful. But there's not really any reason for him to do it. I think Mitsuki just wanted to show off. Because going by this fight alone, Tori doesn't really have any feats. 11 is Energon. I love Energon. I love his parents, but because of his lineage, he's a very specialist ninja with a particular set of skills. In a one-on-one, chances are he's gonna get wrecked. The number 10 spot belongs to Metal Lee. I'm so sorry, Lee. Your son came out of disappointment. Okay, we don't know that. I love my green jumpsuit boys. He's just quite unremarkable. He seems to be quite a standard taijutsu close-range fighter. And not in the amazing way his dad was at his age either. Rock Lee had already pulled off the Drunken Fist, the weights, and multiple gates, but the most we've seen from Lee was when he was possessed. And even then it wasn't that impressive. Number 9 is a tiebreaker because it's just too vague to tell at this point. The masked Araya and the ambiguous Yodo. Let's start with my favourite, Araya. A shy puppet boy. Basically combine Kankuro and Shino and stick him in a mask. I'm very happy we finally got to see this guy fight. I love his design. But he didn't really do much. He's a mid-tier ninja in a season with lots of powerful fucking kids. The old puppet trick, the old 1-2, isn't going to do much against Sarada Uchiha. Maybe it was just a bad matchup. And then there's Yodo. Now this is a tricky one, because even though Yodo got whacked by Shikha, the novel seems to insinuate that she is the strongest on her team. Yeah, even above Shinky. See, now that confuses everything, because Shinky is meant to be the big bad Gara of this season. It sounds like the novel hyped her to make Shikadai's feat of beating her so much more impressive. But then that's still just speculation. You can't put her to the number 1 spot on this list just because of hype, you know? Fuck up your ranking list, I will. Little Yodo joke there. Yoda. From Star Wars. Number 8, Iwabe, the class jock, who's been held back. I mean, is this guy like 20? Iwabe, Iwabe, new characters. Iwabe is almost Shippuden age, and he has the skill set to match. He's not very smart, but his chakra manipulation and his brute force are pretty damn impressive. Still though, you know. Number 8. Number 7 goes to Cho Cho. I'm so glad my girl Cho Cho got some new feats. She went 3 entire arcs, 3 years of using nothing but partial expansion hand. That shit gets old, and it led people to believe that she actually wasn't powerful at all, even though she fucking held her own against an MS user. Her fight against Shinky was insane. Really, really impressive. A powerful, supercharged Choji. She's not top tier, but she's getting there. Number 6 goes to another character you forgot about. Yorui! Yes, the guy who says pwned and noobs. He's a fucking dweeb, but he's strong, okay? Yes, he does lose in the first round due to some cheating, but he was giving BORUTO a lot of trouble with a really interesting moveset. Take away that device, and I think BORUTO exited this tournament very early. Number 5 gets a little bit controversial now in the top 5. I'm putting Shikha. But Sam, Shikha beat Boruto fair and square. It's tricky. He did beat Boruto, but this was a Boruto who based his entire strategy and training around the Kote device. Shikha is insanely powerful. He maybe is even higher in your list. He's got the intelligence of his father, and the chakra banks and power of his mum. This one move alone? Oh my god, that is insanely broken. That's basically hacks. But at the same time, could you see Shikha pulling off a feat like this? Or this? I don't. So number 4 is Boruto, the guy who has gone head to head with the 7-inch swordsman, the Samahara, and has kind of been beaten down by everybody else since. But that's only because he keeps picking such strong, powerful opponents. This kid is insanely strong, really good at learning. When he puts down the Game Boy, he actually learns his shit. He's basically a prodigy. We know he's gonna get more powerful, but for now, his training with Sasuke has only just begun. I can just hear the angry comments now. Number 3 is Sarada. That's just a fact. At the current moment, in the current arc, Sarada has shown more impressive feats than Boruto. Her fight with Buntan was way above the capabilities of a Genin ninja. Pretty much everything that transpired in the Naruto Gaiden, and of course, that. She's got a lot of one-hit KOs on her record. And don't let the internet convince you otherwise. The Naruto fandoms are rife with misogyny in general, and seem devoted to painting her as a second Sakura, just because they didn't get the little DeviantArt Sasuke-san that they always wanted. But Sarada is actually way cooler and more powerful than even your best fanfiction. This is my OC. Please do not steal. Number 2, it got really difficult here because there's 2 just obvious candidates left. I'm giving the number 2 spot to Shinky. The anime adaptation has really expanded this guy. They've done him a lot of favours. From a nice flashback to the adults hyping him up. He's basically Gaara Mark II. And he also carries the same amount of anticipation and hype that Gaara did back in the early days. That said though, do not always believe the hype. He will be taken down. His moveset is impressive, but not that impressive. Konohamaru outright said that his team didn't stand a chance against Shinky. Wow, thanks man, what a good sensei, what a supportive guy. But I don't buy that for 1 second, that is drama building. Because despite Konohamaru's knowledge, his student Mitsuki has a lot more up his sleeves. His very long, baggy sleeves. The number 1 spot goes to Mitsuki. This guy was modded by Orochimaru, attached with all kinds of nonsense jutsu. He's basically ridiculous, and incredibly inconsistent with his powers. The guy took down Shino twice. Back in part 1, it wasn't completely unheard of that some of the Genin could have beaten some of the adults, but it was never actually shown. Mitsuki's Sage Mode is too vague in general to get quite a good grip on how powerful he is. He definitely isn't Kabuto level. The Dragon Sage Mode isn't quite there yet, but it's still more than enough to put him way above Genin level. Remember when that rumour got started that he had the Byakugan and everyone was just like, yeah, sure, okay. Because what doesn't this kid have? And throughout all this, he's still holding out on us. In general, I don't know how to rank these kids. I think the majority of them are a lot more powerful than what they were dealing with in part 1. They ain't Genin, they ain't Chunin. Some of them are Chunin level with Jonin level abilities. And we're still in the early days. We're in the Chunin exams. Anyway, that's me done. Tell me how wrong I am in the comments below. And don't actually do that. Don't even fucking do that. Thanks for watching and see you next time.